Hi guys, so what are we looking at today? Well, it's a box of bits. I'm hoping is going to be a working Sinclair ZX Spectrum Vega Plus console. Now for those of you who don't know, the Vega Plus console was something that a company called Retro Computers created, and this was meant to be a successor to the Vega. So the Spectrum Vega was a redesign of the original Spectrum 48K, and it was a very small console. It had a proper video output, so a composite video output rather than just TV. It had preloaded games, just like a console really, a video console, but it was just Spectrum games in that console, and it was the look and feel of the original 48K Spectrum, even though it didn't have the full keyboard on there. But you still needed to connect it up to a monitor. So Retro Computers then created the Vega Plus, and this was meant to be a handheld device which had built-in battery, screen, speakers, everything combined in this handheld device, and it would still have plenty of Spectrum games stored in there, and you could use that on the go. This was one of these Kickstarter campaigns, and it was on a site called Indiegogo, and as I said, it was Retro Computers that had this. Now, it was said that it was Sir Clive Sinclair and Retro Computers Limited. They announced the launch of this, so Sir Clive Sinclair did have something to do with it, or supposedly had something to do with this, but I'm not sure if that was ever the case. Now, the fundraising event actually got many more backers than they expected, and the amount raised was just over £500,000. But unfortunately, the company went into liquidation, and a lot of people, including myself, because I was one of the backers, didn't get their money back. So you can go on the site. I'll put the link down below. It has closed the campaign, of course, back in 2016, but there are plenty of pictures on there, and also plenty of comments as well, many comments, and if you look at them, they're just asking for their money back constantly. But I don't think anybody got their money back. If anybody did, it was only a few people. I don't even think they sent out many items. They did send out a few. It was literally just a small percentage of ones that were originally ordered. So that's the background to this device, and most people had sort of forgotten about it and lost interest in it. Now, I'm a member of one of the Spectrum forums, the Sinclair forums, and I saw somebody selling this box of bits, and he apparently got them from a liquidation sale. There was some company selling these parts, and it includes a Spectrum Vega Plus. So I don't know whether it works, but they're all new items as far as I can tell. So what we'll do is we'll take it out, we'll see what we've got, and we'll see if we can get it put together. Now, also along with this pack, there is some Vega cases. So this is the size of the original Sinclair Vega case. Very small. I don't know. There possibly is some boards to this as well. So there's a pack here. I'm not sure what's in there, but that looks as though perhaps it's a circuit board for this. And let's get these bits out and we'll take a look. So this is what I have in my Vega and Vega Plus Super Bundle, as it was called. So let's have a look. We've got two Vega Plus shells. So let's just open one of these up. So this is what the console would have looked like. This is the size. Buttons there, screen in the center, and this looks pretty good quality. Like I said, I'm excited to see this together, even if it doesn't work. Just actually holding one of these after all this time is quite a thing. It's like I say, it's 8 years ago now since this was originally floated on the website. And then we have another shell. I'm expecting this is the same shell. Yeah, looks like it. This one has a dummy screen on there. These just pop out. Yeah, just a mock-up of what the screen should look like. It's got the Sinclair logo on there, if you can see that. And like I said, we've got the original Vega case as well, and these are, I believe, Vega circuit boards. So I'm not sure whether we'll do this in this video, but we may revisit this on another video to see whether we can get that working. But it's the Vega Plus that I'm most interested in. And then we have some spare screens for the front. These are the protective screens under the go under the on top of the LCD. And one of them has the sticker applied. It's not a great looking sticker, that. What I might do, if I can get this working, or even if I don't get it working, just to make it look better, I may replace that sticker with some paint. I might just spray the back of that to mask off the center and spray around. That might look a bit better, but that's a minor thing. As you can see there, it's meant to look like that dummy card. 1982 Sinclair Research Limited, that's what you would expect to see when you turn the Spectrum on. So yeah, a few protective screens there, all branded Sinclair, very nice. And we've got LCD screen. Not sure what resolution that is, but any resolution would be equal to what the Spectrum was. Battery. Doesn't say what sort. Probably a lithium ion. And then the all-important PCB for the Vega. Let's have a look, see if we can tell whether it's fully populated or not. As I said, this was sold to me as possibly not working, possibly working, so I don't know if these are complete or not. There's an SD card slot there, which looks like a headphone jack, USB power, a couple of buttons. That must be the slot for the LCD. Be a memory chip on there, and then the CPU. Okay, what else have we got? Speaker, screws, buttons. These look like they're the ones for the Vega Plus. And these will be the ones for the original Vega. So the buttons actually look like the original Spectrum buttons. They're not the same. Logos on there, but they're in that style. So they're nice. There's 4 sets of buttons and 4 PCBs and 1 Vega case. So put all those to one side. Like I said, we may do another video for those. And these, they're solid buttons. I was going to say they look like they would fit there, but they're not actual buttons, it's just a solid plate that. But there are buttons here Okay, well, we'll take a look. So the first thing I think we all want to do is power this up and see if it works. So, without knowing anything about this, there is a, if we look at the button legends, there is one for power. Where is it? There, power. So I'm expecting if we connect a USB to it and the power switch, bridge that out, we can see if anything happens. So let's get this LCD attached. So it must sit like this. Yeah, that's the front. Now the back of this is metal, so I don't want to short that out. Let's put some plastic around there. And just got a USB cable. I've got a green light on. Nothing on the display though. And now I've got a red light. So I wonder if that's a standby light. Let's bridge out that power switch. It says it's drawing 20 milliamps. Wonder if the battery has to be connected. Let's disconnect that, plug the battery in. Might as well go ahead and plug the speaker in too. This one's the battery. I'm too impatient. I should really put all this in the case, but I just want to see whether it powers up. Okay, let's plug in the USB again. Oh, it's on. It's on. Let me just switch cameras and you'll be able to get a better look at this. So there it is. That screen looks really good. And you can see 1982 Sinclair Research Limited along the bottom, just as the original Spectrum did, albeit on a CRT TV. And the menu there, what looks like some games list. And we've got some settings. Hall of Fame. Now, Hall of Fame's interesting because the Hall of Fame, when you were a backer with the original campaign and you sent the money off, there was one option. In fact, the option that I selected was I think it was called the Clive or the Sir Clive. It was just over £100. And with that, you got one of the early release Vega Pluses, and you also got your name added to the Hall of Fame. That was the promise, that your name would be added to that list. So that's going to be very interesting to see whether that's actually there. So what I'll do is I will put this in the case because it's a bit precarious at the minute with the circuit board out. I'll put it in the case now that we know it works. Put the buttons on there and we'll come back and we'll see what it does. I've come across a small issue. The buttons are not complete. So on this side, this is the left hand side of the console, we've got the plastic buttons. This is the D-pad. You can see it's just a solid piece of plastic on a pivot in the middle there. So this will tilt down and press whatever contact you need. And then underneath that we've got a rubber contact pad with the carbon contacts, and that's just fits over the top, so buttons fit into the case like this. And the small one as well. And then this carbon rubber pad fits over the top like that. And I think that's going to work just fine. There's also button covers here for the back of the case, 2 sets that make contact with the tactile switches on the back of the board. And there's even a little diffuser here, clear plastic diffuser for the LED. So this fits into the back and will shine the light through from the board LED to the back of the case. What is missing is the buttons for the right hand side here. So what is supplied is a 3D printed panel, but this is a solid panel. It doesn't move at all. There's no way that can move around or pivot to press the buttons, as far as I can tell. Now it does fit into the case. It presses in tight, but that is just, as far as I can tell, just a dummy panel. It's not going to do anything. And there's no carbon contacts as there is for the other side. There's no carbon contacts to make connection with these, so we don't have that. So that's a bit unfortunate. So what I'll do is I'll put it together, and I may have to just fashion a little plunger to go through the front so we can test it out and press these buttons down. But yeah, I need to find out whether I can make something there to fit. So here it is all together in the case. Buttons on the left hand side. Of course the buttons on the right hand side are missing, so there's nothing there. What I have done, I've made another small plastic rod. I've glued on the bottom there the carbon pad off one of the spare switches I had, So I can use that just to poke down there and press the relevant switch. I think that will work quite well. So let's give it a try. Let's power on. This front screen, by the way, I've made out of the dummy card that came with the other screen. So if you remember, we had that cardboard sheet with the white Spectrum screen in the middle. It was like a dummy card on one of the front covers, and all I did was cut out the center of that and keep the card behind this plastic, and it actually looks better than the sticker. As you can see there, it looks pretty good. This one is the one that had the sticker applied to it, and you can see there's air behind it. It's not very good. You can see there that this is the white around the letters. So I was thinking about painting it, but the card, cut out that card piece, and that looks pretty good. So the buttons that we've got here, this top one is the fire button. We've got a select. These ones are labelled 1 and 2. Then we've got a couple of extra function buttons here, and I think this top one is a menu button, although I can't see any instructions for this, but I think the top one is the menu, so that will come back to this screen, I think. The reset button is on the back, volume controls on the back. Now my little rod that I made with the carbon contacts just come off, so I'm going to use this metal screwdriver to hopefully engage these buttons. So let's reset this, and we can see what we've got. It is very difficult to use this. These buttons on the left, although they work, you have to press very hard for them to engage, and obviously the ones on the right are missing. I also have not managed to get any sound out of this yet, so I'm not sure why that is, whether it's just not enabled or available on this particular board. It does have a speaker. I've tried the headphone socket as well, tried the volume switch here. It makes no difference. I cannot get any sound out of it at all. But let's have a look. So I'll show you the game list. So the select button is this one, and that is the complete list of games that we've got here. Now, the original Kickstarter for this said that there was going to be thousands of games, or at least 1,000 games. So again, possibly they haven't all been programmed in here. I mean, this wasn't the final release. This is just I'm guessing some of the prototypes that were sold off at some point. So we're able to move down and select this bottom one. We can't select this bottom one, so I'm not sure what that is. But if we try, I don't know, one of the others, select, it starts loading the game. And they do actually load. How functional they are, I don't know. As you can see, it is running the program. So keyboard number 1, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you move down? Oh, you can't do anything. It just starts the game, that one. So you see on this particular game, it's not doing anything. Whether it might have started in Kempston joystick mode, for example. It might not be the keyboard mode, perhaps. These aren't doing much. Like I said, there's a few games on there, but they're not really very playable. But I just think it's an interesting thing to see and actually see one in the flesh, because certainly for me, because waiting for so long to see it, and we've actually got one. I've seen a couple of videos of people that actually got a production one from Retro Computers back in the day. One of the fortunate few that actually got them. And this looks very similar. I'm guessing that theirs had more functionality and more games, but you know, it actually powers up and displays something. I think without these buttons anyway, we're losing a lot of functionality with this, so I don't think this can be considered a complete working unit. Again, there's no sound either, so I'm not sure. If you go down to settings and select this one, we get some settings there. So we've got sound level 4, which we can increase, but again, that's 7's the maximum, and that doesn't do anything. And it's set for speakers. You can set it for headphones, but again, when you select headphones, the headphone socket doesn't output anything either. Brightness, that works. You have to press these hard, like I said, and contrast. Yeah, that works too. I wonder if this one goes back to menu. So you press that button and it just goes back to this screen, which doesn't do anything. If you press the power button over here, you get the menu back up. So perhaps this one's considered a menu and the power. We've got the Hall of Fame, which I mentioned. And this, as I said, this is something that was promised to backers at the time. Get your name set into the Hall of Fame, so everyone that received one of these, or should have received one of these, they get your name hard-coded in there. Mine is in there. It's not ANT&TECH, unfortunately, because it's before ANT&TECH was around, but my actual name is in here, along with a lot of others. So it looks as though they did actually put the names in here. So if you're one of the backers, maybe you see your name here. I'll just scroll through the list. Yeah, there's quite a few there, probably a couple of thousand. That's it. And there's an SD card option here as well. Not sure what happens if we select that. It just has an empty list. So there is an SD card slot. If you there's a blank here on the plastic case, but there is actually an SD card slot inside. So what I may try and do is download some games and see if I can put them on that card, see if that works. But really, this is more of a collector's item rather than a workable console. But I hope you've enjoyed looking at it anyway. I think it's been interesting to see one of these. There's the menu again. So I'll end this video here. The other item that came with it, the Vega the original Vega, which was in the box as well. I'm going to do another quick video about that. It looks as though there's some bits missing to that. So there was a cable for that, but I think I can probably make something. So I might do another quick video and we'll just see if we can get that working as well. Anyway, I'll end it there. And like I said, I hope you've enjoyed having a little look at this, especially if you were one of the backers that you were waiting for this. This is probably what you would have received, albeit with the buttons, of course.